Now listen, boundaries are a lot like the fences around your property. They keep you safe. They keep you healthy. They tell folks passing by just how you expect to be treated. It's a simple concept, really. But some fellas, well, they like to test those fences. Some do it on purpose. Others might not even realize they're doing it. These tests can be quiet, almost silent. They can feel so small at first you might just brush them off. A small test ignored today can grow into a big problem down the road. It's like a tiny crack in a dam. Best to patch it while it's still small. The whole point here is to help you see these things for what they are. Spot them early before they grow. This isn't about starting a fight. It's about knowing your worth and protecting your peace of mind. We'll walk through common tests you might see. We'll show you how to spot them and simple ways to respond. No big scene needed. Just a firm, calm line. Read this slow. Take it all in. Your most important tool is your gut feeling. Learn to trust what you feel. If something feels off, it probably is. Your intuition is your first line of defense. It's usually right. We'll give you the words and the mindset to back that up. Build a stronger, more respected version of yourself, one small boundary at a time. This is about the people in your life, especially the men, treating you with the respect you deserve. A good fence makes for good neighbors. A good boundary makes for a good relationship. It's not about pushing people away. It's about teaching them how to be close to you. It lets a good man love you better and lets a man with bad intentions know he's barking up the wrong tree. This is your space, your life. You decide who comes in and how they behave there. It's a powerful position to be in. It starts with understanding these quiet little tests. Yeah, that's the setup. You feel me? Section 2. The nature of the test. Why a good man might push. Now, it's important to understand why a man might test your boundaries. It ain't always coming from a bad place, though the effect can be the same if you let it slide. Sometimes, testing is a way to learn the rules of the game with you. He might want to know what he can get away with, sure, but he also might be pushing just to see if you care enough to stop him. It's a backwards way of looking for reassurance, trying to see if you're invested enough to actually have a line in the sand for him to cross. It's a complex thing. Some men want a sense of control. It's a power play, pure and simple. Others do it to learn your limits, to figure out the map of your personality. Testing can come from deep insecurity, old habits, or even curiosity, just poking around to see what happens without much thought. But hear this. None of these reasons makes it okay to cross your line without your permission. It doesn't matter if he's insecure, curious, or just plain clueless. You have a fundamental right to say no. You have a right to your own space, your own time, and your own decisions. Your boundaries are not up for negotiation, and you don't owe anyone a long-winded explanation. They are yours, reason enough to be respected. A man who respects you will learn from your boundary and adjust. A man who doesn't, he's showing you exactly who he is. Believe him the first time. Trust that reaction. Section 3. The invisible plan. Assuming control of your time. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Tests can come in all shapes and sizes, words, actions, even tone. They can be so subtle you might question if you're imagining things. You're not. Let's break down common tests. For each one, a clear example, why it's a test, the sign to watch for, and a short, powerful response. First up, the invisible plan test. Here's how it looks. He makes plans that involve you without asking you first. He tells his buddies you're both going to the game, or buys tickets and tells you the night before, presented as a done deal. So why is this a test? It's simple. He wants to see if you'll go along with his program, accepting his choices as yours, setting the precedent that his plans outrank yours. He's steering the ship without your input. The big sign, feeling like an afterthought in your own life, hearing about plans after they're set in stone, the casual shrug that you'd be available. If you keep rearranging your life for plans you never agreed to, that's your red flag. Your response, pause, take a breath. Then, I appreciate the thought, but I like a heads up. I need to be included in the planning early on, and mean it, so stick to that. Section 4, the push and joke test. Let's move on to the next one. It's a sneaky one. He teases you about something sensitive or about a boundary you set. A little jab, a little poke, And when you react, he waves his hands. Hey, I'm just joking. Can't you take a joke? He uses humor as a shield, says something disrespectful, then blames you for being too sensitive. He's looking to see if you'll back down. He wants to see if you'll laugh it off. If you laugh, even uncomfortably, he learns it's okay to keep pushing, testing your resolve against social pressure. The sign to watch: repetition. After you say you don't like it, he does it again, maybe in front of others, and acts annoyed you're not playing along. Your response? Dead simple, no smile. Don't get angry, just get clear. Look him in the eye. That's not funny to me. That's it. No long explanation, no defending your feelings. If he says, it was just a joke, calmly repeat, I know, and it wasn't funny. Please don't do it again. Stay calm. Do not laugh it off. You are teaching him your boundaries are not a punchline. Be clear, be firm. All right, the next test creeps up slow, the time drain test. He expects an endless supply of your time and attention, often at the expense of your own needs. It starts with, answer me right now, grows into late-night calls after you've said you need sleep, then more pings, more pull, a little more of your energy. He's checking if you'll prioritize him over sleep, work, hobbies, gauging your devotion by how much life you hand over. The clearest sign: exhaustion, mental and emotional. Your plans and rest get crossed out for his demands. That little jolt when his name pops up, because you know it's another long, draining interaction. Feeling on call is your warning bell. Set a clear time limit and stick to it, without apology. You don't have to be mean. Text: hey, I'd love to talk, but I can only chat until 10 tonight. After that, I'm turning in. When 10 rolls around, all right, it's 10. I gotta go. Talk to you tomorrow. Stick to it. You're not being rude, you're managing your energy. You're teaching him your time is a valuable resource, not an unlimited buffet. Now, let's talk about the favor loop test. It starts small. Pick up my dry cleaning, make a call, edit an email. Then it becomes frequent, and one way. He's always asking, rarely offering. This is a test of your willingness to serve, pulling you into a role where you do more for him than he does for you. He's seeing how much you'll invest without reciprocity, setting up an imbalance of power, giver versus taker. The clearest sign: resentment. You realize you're doing most of the work, feeling more like his employee than his equal. He comes to expect help and acts surprised or put out when you hesitate, like you're failing at a job. If a month shows 10 favors from you, and he won't even take out the trash, you're in the favor loop. Break it gently but firmly. I can help this time, but I'm feeling overwhelmed. I could use a break from being the one who handles these things. Or, I can't today, maybe ask next week. You're not saying no forever. You're saying your help isn't an on-demand service. This next one's one of the oldest and most unpleasant tricks in the book, the guilt trip test. You tell him no, early morning, won't lend money, and instead of accepting it, he makes you feel bad for your choice. I guess you don't care. If you really loved me, you would. He turns your boundary into a judgment of your character, testing whether your guilt is stronger than your resolve. If shame makes you change your mind, he learns guilt gets him his way. Fine. Watch for the knot in your stomach. Pressure, anxiety, shame for stating a need. If you start deciding just to avoid his reaction, you're being manipulated by guilt. That cornered feeling is your cue to stand firm. Acknowledge without owning. I hear you're disappointed, but my answer is still no. Or, I understand you feel that way. I still have to do what's right for me. Stay centered in your choice. You're not responsible for managing his emotions, only your actions. By staying firm, you teach him guilt is not a currency that works with you. Let's look at two tests from the same root: control. The slow fade and the private joke. The slow fade: he pulls away, texts less, gets vague, acts distant. He's creating a vacuum. The private joke: he shares an unflattering story in a group and calls it harmless. With the slow fade, he wants you to chase, call, send long texts. With the private joke, he checks if you'll defend yourself in public or shrink with a weak smile. Slow fade signs: anxiety and overanalysis. Private joke signs: a hot flash of humiliation. You feel small, exposed, betrayed. For the slow fade, don't play. Give him space. Don't chase. Live your life. Later, calmly. I've noticed some distance between us. Is everything okay?
I don't find that funny. I don't like you sharing that.
So, let's wrap this up. We've talked about quiet tests, from the invisible plan to the guilt trip. The most important thing, trust your gut. Your feelings matter. If something feels off, if you feel smaller or more tired after an interaction, pause. You don't have to respond right away. Take a breath. You can say, "Let me think about that," and step away. When you respond, keep it short and clear. Use I statements. I feel, I need, I will not. Don't play the blame game, just firm and calm. Practice on small things first. Saying no to small requests builds your boundary muscle for bigger tests. If disrespect becomes a pattern, be willing to step back. If he keeps pushing after you're clear, that's a choice to disrespect you. If you feel scared, ashamed, or on edge, get help. Talk to a friend. Seek support. Your safety and sanity come first. 4 steps. 1. Know your limits. 2. Communicate them calmly. 3. Act when they're crossed. 4. Keep your word. If you say there'll be a consequence, follow through. This is how you teach people to respect you. It starts with you respecting yourself enough to hold the line. Protect your peace. You deserve it.